Welcome to this very special edition of OG55 Live. We are doing a celebration stream. We have hit 5,000 subscribers on the channel, and a huge milestone. We want to thank everybody. We want to nerd out with you guys today, guys and gals today. Up next on this episode of OG55 Live. Welcome aboard, everybody, to this very special live show of OG55. We are celebrating 5,000 subs today. We are celebrating. But before I do that, I want to introduce my partner, my collaborator, Mr. George, the Italiano, host of our Citrus Corner show here on the channel. George, welcome back, sir. I say welcome back, but you're never gone. I mean, I guess when you're on vacation, but that's
one of my vacation. Yeah, definitely. No, glad to be here. Glad to be doing this live with you. This is a very special milestone, 5,000 subs for the channel. As I said, I was a huge fan of you and the channel way back during your bookshelf years.
And we'll get to that today. Of course. I won't spoil it, but go ahead.
And yeah, so the fact that I'm now part of this journey with you, I appreciate you. As I said, you're my brother, and it's like I'm so glad to be going along this ride with you. So I can't wait for many more videos, many more lives, and let's go for another 5,000 subs.
Absolutely, ride or die. Absolutely. So let's dive into this. So we have a lot of people in chat already. We got Kiki and Luca. We got Matthew, Murr. We got Googam32. Our friend Girly Nerd is in the house. We got Mr. Seymour Duck, Tones, Bad Thoughts Podcast, Rachel Castro, Michelle Bailey. A lot of love in the chat. Let's go ahead and kind of dive into this. So it was 2016, right? And it started a little bit before 2016, actually. I was like really into Collider Jedi Council. I was like watching Christian Harloff and John Campea talk about Star Wars, right? And I got inspired by those guys. I really did. I'm like, I want to kind of do that, but I want to do it with like theme parks. And so I'm like, I'm going to start my channel. And I kind of sat on it for a while. And finally in 2016, I decided, you know what, I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to do it. And I started Orange Grove 55. Had no expectations going into it. I was like, I'm just going to record stuff and have a good time. And then here we are 5 years later. Oh, not 5 years later. How long has that been now? 7 years later, right? Yeah. And we're at 5,000 subs. And it's humbling. And like, it's crazy, George, like how many friends that we've kind of made along the way with this whole journey, right? Like it started as a solo thing for me in 2016, and now we have such a huge team and such a big family. It's been incredible. But what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Yeah, as I said, I remember watching you from the very beginning, your very first video, which no spoilers right now. We'll definitely get to that in a little bit. Yeah. All you folks are in for a real treat. But I remember watching, and the thing that I loved about Orange Grove 55 was the fact that it wasn't your typical Disney vlogging kind of channel where it was in park, on location, let's talk about, the snacks, the specialty drinks, the what have you. I mean, it's nice. I'm not saying that's, if that's your shtick, go for it, but I wanted something a little bit different. And I loved how you created kind of this one-on-one conversation with kind of like a non-commentary up until the fact that you started doing your Q&As. And then that's where I came into the picture.
Yeah.
But I loved how you talked about breaking news. You talked about topics that a lot of people really weren't discussing online at the time, as far as in the Disney community, where, as I said, everyone was talking about, snacks and desserts and specialty drinks and what have you. And you were talking about what the future state looked like for Fantasyland and Tomorrowland. You know, and it's like, a lot of people, weren't really like going after that. Now, I mean, it's like almost everywhere, but I don't know. It's just something about how you created the channel. It just drew me to it. And I immediately, I ended up liking, subscribing, smashing that notification bell, which all of you should be doing right now.
Yes, absolutely.
And and yeah, I just kept on following you until you started doing the Q&As. And then I found you on Twitter, and I ended up submitting my question. And I wrote back to you because you ended up picking my question. And I thought it was quite interesting that you're one of the very few people that actually got my last name right.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned that, George, because I have the receipts. I think this is actually, from what I understand, I think it might have been the first one that I answered of yours. It was about VR in the parks.
VR, yeah.
I think the first one. And this is the moment that George is talking about, where I pronounce his last name correctly. We won't play the whole thing, but it is kind of interesting to kind of watch the first couple of seconds of this. Everyone, okay, so in this video, let's talk about VR, virtual reality in the parks. I got a great question from a subscriber about this subject. I'm going to read you the question, and we're going to dig right in. Who's that subscriber, you asked? The question comes from Mr. George Falcione. And George is asking, how do you feel about VR, virtual reality attractions in... This is fantastic. It's so weird for me to see this, though. Like,
it is, because, looking back, it was like, I was kind of geeking out at the time. Like, oh my gosh, like my name was mentioned on YouTube. And it was like, and I was already watching you for how long. And it was like, for you to actually be reading my question and answering it. Now the fact that I look back on it, and it's like, now we're partners in crime on the channel. And as I take you as family, it's like, it's actually, I want to use the word weird because, it's more help me out here. Trippy. Yeah, we'll go with trippy. That it's like, wow, I can't believe, because now we talk every day on the phone, it's like nothing, but like in that moment, I was geeking out, it's like.
It's wild. It's wild because we met so many friends, right? We met so many friends, like people that we met from the channel, from this community that we become really close to,
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll start off with, and we will be playing the first OG55 video. We will be playing that in a moment, but let's start off with the OG55 team, right?
Right.
So, you got the hype train behind you, George.
I got the hype train. Never fails.
Very, very appropriate. Very, very appropriate. So you joined the team. Now, I actually I was friends with Jay Shear for a little while, probably a couple of years or so, I would guess, roughly, prior to him officially coming on the channel, like as part of the team, right? So he would come on OG55 and as a guest, and we were friends like on Twitter, and one day Jay approached me and said, hey, I'm going to be really busy because he's doing the directing thing and all that stuff. And I got this show called Story Geeks, and I don't really have, I don't really have time to work on it, but I don't want to discontinue it. So I want to kind of bring it into the OG55 family. Right. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I mean, come on, Jay Shear, which of course I want you part of the team, what I'm saying? So we brought Jay on, and he, it was humbling because it was like, he's trusting us with his show. Like he was trusting us with his Story Geeks brand, and that's something that always stuck with me. I'm like, it's very special for me because I was like, wow, this is a big kind of responsibility. I'm saying? He's handing this over, it's still his show, but he's part of this OG55 network. But yeah, that was humbling to me. And Jay's an amazing guy, and we love Jay so much. And I wish we could have him on more. He's just really, really busy. But honestly, it's been an honor to have him part of this team. But any thoughts on Jay Shear, George?
Yeah, he's a cool cat. I really love Jay. I actually met him through you because, as you said, you were already friends with him. And I remember the first time recording with him, it was for a studio, Story Geek, collabo. And then, I was like part of that transitional period where he was like, okay, I'm going to hand you over, the Story Geeks, where it's like it's still mine, but it'll be part of that Orange Grove 55. So I thought that was really cool. And Jay is a very complex person when it comes to telling stories, but that's what makes him so very unique in that way. Like no one can dissect a story better than him.
I'm telling you, Jay has, and our friend Maybe, who's in the chat right now, she can agree with me on this, I think, because she says it all the time. Jay has the best takes. He really does. When he you can put Jay into a conversation about studio and movies and film, and he'll break that down, and he'll come at it at an angle that you would never even imagine. But the angle that he's coming at makes all the sense in the world. And then you take him out of his wheelhouse even, and you put him into a theme park thing. And Jay's crushing it even in the theme parks topics, right? And even though he's not like as heavy in the theme park stuff like he is the studio stuff, he absolutely crushes even in that. So he really is a brilliant guy, and we are so lucky to have Jay Shear as part of our team. Really lucky. And like I said before, I'm humbled, and I take it very seriously that he trusted us with his Story Geeks show. That means a lot to me. And shout out to Jay. George, part of the OG55 team. Who do you want to talk about? Shout out.
So for me, oh boy, let's see.
We'll go through everyone, but
just go through. Okay. Well, I can't really say a person because I kind of feel like they're like a buy one get one, or like that buy one, like that BOGO. I have to give a shout out to Tones and Candid Camper, part of the Bad Thoughts studio. Actually, it was Candid Camper that I was talking to on social media, had him on as a guest, and it kind of influenced him to kind of want to get into kind of this, podcast type of discussion based YouTube channel that Tones was even, asking him to do even before he was coming on OG55. And then that's how we met Tones, through Candid. And it's like they're the dynamic duo over there at Bad Thoughts. It's like, and they're doing really well. They just hit 300 subs. And I wish them the best. And I love that they're part of the team.
Yeah, Candid was a guest on the channel a while back, right?
Yeah,
a while back, and then him and his friend, Tones started their Bad Thoughts podcast and Bad Thoughts Studio, and we have the best time with these guys. I am telling you, they've been on our channel recently. We just had Tones on for the Mufasa trailer and the K-pop reaction video, right? Because
see, the best thing I love about Bad Thoughts Studio is when we're doing their show, I feel like I could kind of let my hair down a little bit because, on here, like I don't say anything risque or spicy on here. I'm a perfect angel on here.
You are, George.
You can see the halo.
Yeah, absolutely. You're such a saint, such a saint. Yeah, no, but I do love them, and they do bring that fun factor to it, when they come on the channel. And look, they do have like more of an edge to them, and so do we here on OG55. A lot of Disney creators won't curse or something, or even the innuendos that we kind of joke about and stuff, right? So we have a little bit of an edge too, but they come on and we laugh so hard. And even after the recordings, right, George, we will stop recording and we'll still be on with them 2 hours after the recording, just talking about live, joking, laughing. I love Tones. I love Candid. They are amazing guys. And again, super lucky to have them part of the team,
Absolutely.
Really fortunate. So next up to bat, we got to go Seymour Duck, man. We got to go Seymour Duck. Seymour Duck. Here we go. We got him right here, Mr. Duck. We love Seymour. Okay, Seymour started. He came on the channel kind of recently, right? I mean, it wasn't too long ago.
It wasn't too long ago. So he's not like a newbie, but he's not like a seasoned part of the channel, so to speak. He's like in that sweet spot.
Yeah. And I was following on him on Twitter before he ever came on the channel, and I was really impressed with his his financial takes and everything. And I believe I reached out to him and I said, Seymour, would you be interested in coming on the channel? And the rest was history. He came on and he absolutely crushed it like he always does. Seymour comes with so much passion, so much information, and so much, like, he knows what he's talking about. We love this guy so much. And he's funny too. Like, we talk privately all the time, right, George? Seymour is a funny guy. He's great. And we're actually going to do a video with Seymour. What is it, earnings call day, right? May 7th.
May 7th.
So that's going to be a banger, as Kaylee says, because that's it. That's Seymour's wheelhouse, and that's where he really excels. But that's the thing. It's like, he came on and he was kind of our investor finance guy who kind of understood that Wall Street world, and he does it in a way with such flavor and personality with his branding and all that. I just think he's amazing. Any thoughts on Seymour?
Flavor Flav.
What are your thoughts on Mr. Duck, George? What are your thoughts on Mr. Duck?
Oh yes, Seymour's awesome. I love the way he goes about, like, he knows the numbers, he knows the finances, he knows all that inner stuff that I couldn't even tell you off of a pig's tail. It's like,
is that like a Pennsylvania thing, off of a pig's tail? What is that?
It literally just came out of my head right now and out of my mouth. I have no idea.
I'm like, is this like an East Coast thing? Because I know this California guy does nothing about pigtails.
But he's awesome. I love what he brings to the channel. He actually came into his own, and he brings a lot to the table. He brings, a lot of the hard facts, but he brings his own personal opinions in as well. And honestly, it's like he's our go-to guy when it comes to like that hard, in-depth, internal, like Wall Street kind of number crunching kind of thing. So yeah, definitely kudos to Seymour.
Yeah, Seymour's great. And here, you can see here, with his icons, right? Hold on, let me pull up a Seymour. See, right now he's dressed up like Mario, right? So Seymour will change his icon based on what we're talking about. So when we did a video recently about Universal and Epic Universe, he joined us for that. And there was a lot of Super Nintendo talk in there. So he dressed up for the occasion with his little Mario hat and the mustache, which we love. It's adorable. But then we do the financial videos, like the quarterly earnings and things like that. And he'll have a duck with a little briefcase, right? So really cool stuff,
Yeah, it's very, very creative. Like, depending on what we're discussing, he'll come up with some sort of, kind of image that just kind of sums it all up. But he throws himself into that equation, with the ducks,
Exactly. And maybe here says Nintendo King. He absolutely is.
He is the Nintendo King.
He is the Nintendo King, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about Slimer. So Slimer, he came on to the squad back in September, and I got an email from Slimer. He was a subscriber for a while. I remember seeing his comments, and I saw him a lot in the live chat. And I got an email from Slimer, and he's like, "Hey, I'm down to come on the channel."
Which Slimer was, he was already a fan of the channel. He was in the chats, he was talking, so we knew of him. And actually, I think it was actually kind of funny. And when he first came on, because when you could read a name. Yeah. And you can kind of get an image of what they can look like. And I pictured this kind of over the middle age, kind of older guy that
and Slimer's hot, bro. Slimer's hot.
And then literally he comes on the screen and I'm like, pardon my French, what the fuck is this? This is like
model material, right? Perfect smile.
Yeah, he was
yeah, and Slimer's a good-looking dude, and he's great, man. He comes on, he's got he's fun too. We talk a lot in private, us and Slimer, and he's a funny guy, and he brings a lot to the table.
I got to hang out with him at Walt Disney World for a few days, and I tell you what, he is. Not only is he a cool guy, he's a very good friend, part of the channel, but hanging out with him, I mean, let's just say you won't be bored with him. I'll say that. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything's very, very interesting. Now, it was really cool hanging out with him for a few days. We did Magic Kingdom. We did do one of the final shows, the Country Bear Jamboree. We got to hang out at Hollywood Studios. We ate at Sci-Fi Dine-In. So it was a good time. Yeah. So yeah. I love Slimer. He's one cool cat.
He is cool. I haven't had the privilege yet to hang out with Slimer, but hopefully that changes.
Yes, and I talked to him a couple days ago, and it seems like the confirmation is starting to become more as a yes during the summer. So
yeah. Baby, yeah.
And before we move on, I just have to say, everyone who is in the chat, definitely stick around because we're still going to be doing a lot of other stuff. This is going to be a little bit of a longer live, so definitely stick around because we're just kind of like want to thank everybody kind of individually that had some sort of impact to the channel, and then we're also going to be doing a whole lot of other stuff too. I'm also going to be doing some trivia giveaway too, so definitely stick around for that as well because it could pop up at any time. So
yeah, George gonna be asking what color underwear is he wearing, and we're gonna have to guess. You know,
and I have the receipts.
You have the receipts. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the color of my underwear is always black and pink, right? No,
yeah, of course. Yes, of course.
Contrary to what people think, it's not orange.
Yes. So my next person actually speaking after Slimer is another very good friend of ours that we hung out several times with, and have to go with Mr. Michael Webber, our favorite, our neighborhood friendly Spider-Man. I honestly I love that. I love that kid to death. Like he is a phenomenal person. We got to hang out with him and his wife at Universal. We hung out with him at Disneyland, and the more that I hang out with him, and there's times where I'm talking to him on the phone, and he loves to talk, and I love the fact that he loves to talk because he and I get into so many different conversations. We just bounce ideas off of one another, and like I look at my phone, and it's like we've been on for like 3 hours, and it's like where'd the time go? But he's one of the only people that I don't know if it's because of that we're so close in age, because I'm only a year older than him.
Yeah,
which he still has that baby face. Like I don't know how.
I know he really does, little Ebo.
I call him a kid, and as I said, he's only 1 year younger than me, and it's
and you know what though, dude? Like in all seriousness, that is such a blessing because when he's like 45, 50 years old, he's gonna be so thankful that he has that baby face and he looks younger. Believe me, that is an absolute blessing. You know,
absolutely. And so I think it's because we're close in age too that. Anytime like I throw out like like my sarcasm or my innuendos or which actually Kaylee knows now too, my Georgisms, that you know he bounces off what I'm saying, but then at the same time we'll just go right back into the conversation where we left off in serious tone. It's like I don't really have that like with a lot of people, but yeah, he's definitely one in a million, and I'm so glad that he's part of the team. I'm so glad to call him a very, very dear friend, another brother of mine, just like you, just like Slimer, and I think honestly, the four of us together in person, I think would do damage.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, Webber is such a good guy. I love Webber too, and he was kind of like Slimer, where we saw him in the chat a lot, right? And then one day we're like, okay, let's bring him on. And actually, the first time that we ever did a show with him, I think it was a live show on the Bad Thoughts podcast with Tones and Candid. And and Michael, he just hit the ground running. Like it was like he's been doing this for years.
Yeah, you would have thought he was. I mean, he didn't. Yeah, he was such a natural at it, but you would think that he was like he was so proactive to it that you would think that he did it for years. He was doing it before us, but no, it was his very first time, and he's been thriving ever since.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we did get a super chat from Mr. Late Night with Cap Podcast, JT Gunn. Thank you so much, JT. We appreciate you, man. We had JT on the channel, I would say about a month and a half ago or so. Yeah, and we talked theme parks with him. He has a great channel of his own. Make sure you check him out on YouTube. If you're into like Bigfoot, stuff like that, he does a lot of cool stuff. But JT, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. That means a lot, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. So next up to bat is gonna be Alia. Alia Aloha. Alia Aloha has been part of the OG55 team for a very, very, very long time. I mean, how long would you say? 4 years, maybe?
Probably, yeah. Because I mean, I remember maybe even a little longer. Because I mean, I remember her when I started.
Yeah, she's been with us for a long time, and she's amazing. Alia is an absolute brilliant person. Like, she will send me DMs or emails with like articles. And the way she researches is like unlike any other. Like, and her I'll bounce an idea off her. Right? She's kind of like Jay in a lot of ways, because Jay's the same way. Like Jay with his takes, he'll come at an angle that I didn't even expect. You know, and it has me thinking of it and reevaluating my own stuff.
Where I actually like to put Alia. Sorry to interrupt you, bro.
No, you're good.
Before it escapes me, is because we've had her on the channel. For some time, but she's what a lot of people don't know is she's very active in our DMs, like in our private conversations. And you're right. And I kind of put her in the placement where you have Jay, that you have like this immersive, creative storytelling, kind of like break down everything. You have Seymour, which then breaks down everything with the numbers and the charts and everything. And then you have Alia in the middle that just is like a splice between like both of them.
Good. That's a good way to put it. Absolutely. And Alia is the sweetest woman in the world. She is so sweet.
I got to hang out. We both got to have dinner with her, Girly Nerd and Kev on the Go. And which that was a phenomenal. That was an awesome day. We got to meet several people, and but I got to hang out with Alia after at the parks, and there was a lot of great moments. But there was one moment where Alia's laugh is very contagious in a good way, and we were on Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters, which she's never been on.
Right.
And to her, I think that when she was looking at the ride, it didn't seem like it was like too bad. Like, you know, it seemed like it was a nice kind of smooth ride. And then we ended up getting in the car, you know, we put on the seat belt, and the ride started going with the music. And through the whole time, she was laughing and giggling. And because she was laughing, it was making like me laugh to like watch her enjoy it. And it started going through like those bumpy moments where the car is supposed to be like swerving and dancing. And the way she just said it, she said, I guess that's what the seatbelt is for. And she was saying that while in the middle of laughing, and it just hit my funny bone.
Oh, it's hilarious, bro.
It was a good night. And we ended up closing the night with It's a Small World, because I mean, you have to. And it was a really nice night. I'm glad I was able to finally hang out with her, you know, in the parks. We had dinner with her, and it was a really good time. She's
very sweet. Yeah, I had dinner with you guys, and then she had to go for a little while. She came back, and we rode Monsters Inc. together.
That's right. All
three of us. That was fun. And then I had to leave because it was like a work night, you know? Like, look at me, I have stupid work. Yeah. I could have stayed. I wish I could stay with you guys the whole time, you know? Because
yeah. You were like so bummed. You were like I have to leave. I don't want to leave. But that's right, Alia. That's right. You were wearing the ears. Yes, she was trying to keep the moss ears on too. Like,
right. No, Alia is fantastic. Yeah. She's been a part of our squad, and she's family here at OG55. Yeah. So, Alia, thank you. Yeah. Go ahead.
Really quick, I have another one, and
sure.
This person actually is, I believe, still in the chat. Hopefully,
Okay.
I actually have to give a shout out to one of my besties, Kaylee. That I actually connected with Kaylee through Theme Park Casual on his channel. And I had made a comment about the Disney sing along VHS tapes because I grew up on those, and she ended up DMing me and saying, "Okay, now I have to go watch these videos," and that was like the first message that she sent me, and then we've been like messaging and texting and talking like ever since. And again, another person who's very sweet. And again, she gets me. She gets my sarcasm. She gets my jokes. She's as I said, my George isms, and I love how she actually starts using my Georgisms, because one of my well, the two I think that really kind of stuck with her is crazy gravy. I use all the time.
What a nerd. Such a nerd, George. Crazy gravy.
And the other one is to high heaven and low hell.
Okay, I've heard that one before. That's awesome. Yeah, no, Kaylee is a sweetheart. Kaylee with two E's. Two E's. Kaylee's a sweetheart. She loves capybaras. We know she loves capybaras. So she shares something very similar with Jenny from Blackpink. Loves animals.
You had to throw that in there, didn't you?
But Kaylee, she loves animals in general, and the fun thing about Kaylee is like, we'll get these great questions from her, which I would never in my mind ever think of these questions. Like, the angelfish question, right? From a while back, the angelfish, I'm sorry, not angelfish, beta fish.
Oh, beta fish. Yeah.
The beta fishes. And I had no idea what those fishes were. When you go to the pet store and there's like these little cups with the fish, they just sitting there like that, right? I didn't know that was a beta fish, but Kaylee knew, and she's asking us like, would you have a beta fish as a pet, and what would you name it? I just love that stuff. It's so much fun, and she brings these questions to the table. Like,
anytime that I'm in the parks, she kind of gives me like these to-do lists to see how much that I can do, and one of the things is because she's a huge Oswald the Lucky Rabbit fan that I've tried so many times to try to meet him for her because she hasn't met him yet in person. And sure enough, without even trying, there was Oswald as I was coming out of the men's bathroom on Buena Vista Street. So it's like, so I ended up sending a little video to her because I had it on record talking to Oswald as he's looking into the camera. And I was like, this is from my bestie, Kaylee, she loves you. She adores you. She's a huge fan and everything. And I send it to her and I get these like crazy texts, like all jumbled letters. And she said, I'm sorry. Like I'm freaking out right now, but I'm driving. And I just write, don't wreck. Like,
drive. Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. Yeah, and that's the thing. We've met a lot of people on this channel that maybe they're not on the camera, right? They might not be on the show with us, but they have made such a huge impact in our lives.
Yes.
Another person who's made a huge impact is the one and the only. Maybe the first tweet that I saw from Maybe, she tagged me on it, and she was like, thanks to OG for bringing to my attention Blackpink, right? And I was like, this is really cool, because this was like last summer, and I was really new to the K-pop thing, and I honestly I've gotten really close with Maybe. She is awesome. She's my twin. We love K-pop, we love Disney, and there are so many days honestly that I'll have that I'm just so stressed out with work or the channel or just life in general, and Maybe we'll come in with a text or a DM or something, and it's hilarious, and it just changes my whole day. And she is an amazing person, and super grateful that she's part of our OG55 family. Any thoughts on Miss Maybe?
Maybe is maybe. She's like a one of a kind.
Absolutely.
Gal. She's like because we got the opportunity to actually talk with her, and we were on for quite some time
On the phone, right?
On the phone, and the thing with, as I mentioned about Alia, but also with speaking of Kaylee and maybe, yeah, four E's, Kaylee and maybe, that their laughs, as I said, it's like when you hear them laugh, especially if you can make them laugh,
yeah,
and you get that response back, it's like, okay, it may not have started out as a good day or a good time,
yeah,
but the transition is starting to move in the positive direction, because it's like, as I said, their laughs, their laughs are very
contagious,
very contagious.
Yeah, and maybe gets it with the K-pop stuff, because I am totally obsessed with K-pop, right? Like, I've been obsessed with it, and maybe is into it just as much as I'm into it. So I have maybe to kind of like talk about this stuff, because like, it's the K-pop thing. It's a real thing, man. I'm into it. I'm all in, and it's cool to have maybe to talk and kind of bounce the stuff off of it, and kind of nerd out about the K-pop stuff. So, and also I do want to say here, maybe cuties. If you guys go to the supermarket and you see those bags of little oranges, they're called cuties.
Those are the only ones I eat.
Real? Are you being serious or for real?
No, I'm being for real, because to eat a regular orange, it's a pain in the ass.
So you only do cuties?
I only do cuties.
Because you're a cutie, George. That's why.
I'm a cutie.
You're a cutie. You gotta do this. There you go. No, but the cuties is a term that she kind of coined herself for OG55, like the OG55 family, right? Like, we're all cuties because they're little oranges, and perfectly on brand. I think our good friend Tones was also using that. So really, really awesome. Yes. But yeah, thank you, Maybe. We do love and appreciate you, and Maybe makes it look so easy. All right, George, who's next up to bat?
Next up to bat for me. This is a person that just recently also came on to the channel, started out, into the chat, and then actually integrated into a few videos, and and she is still in the chat as well. The Girly Nerd.
Girly Nerd, yes, Girly Nerd's awesome. We had her on. Yeah, she's been a fan of the channel. She's been watching us for a little while now, and she came on the channel first time. It was if I'm not mistaken, the 90s video that we did.
All about the 90s. I believe that was the first. Yeah, that was the first one. The second one was the I think it was breaking down our favorite animators and Imagineers.
Correct. And she has such a passion for like nostalgia and like vintage. Like, so if you ever need any info on like old school, like old school Disney Channel, stuff like that, Girly Nerd is your nerd. She absolutely knows her stuff, and she's really, really fun. And we had the honor of meeting her actually it was a week ago today, right? Last Sunday.
Yes.
She was with us at Naples, and we were, really, really fun. Sweetheart, absolute sweetheart.
Yeah, absolutely. Sweetheart. And she was very sweet to hand us gifts, which I was not expecting. I wasn't expecting anything, but it was very sweet. That she handed us a DVD of a movie that actually a lot of people don't know that actually had Disneyland in the movie.
Right. And it was the first movie with Disneyland in it, I believe.
Correct. And then also was something that she had painted of our favorite characters, for which that kind of segues. I'm just going to stop for a second, because this is going to be the first trivia question for the giveaway. And the giveaway, whoever wants to participate, the first item is a Lady and the Tramp ornament.
So cute.
So for the first trivia question, whoever puts it in the chat first will win the item. It is, what is my all-time favorite Disney character?
All-time favorite Disney character. George's all-time favorite Disney character. Now, George, give us a slight hint if you can. Or I can give a hint. I can give a hint that. I thought we got an answer. Second star said Jasmine. No second star, unfortunately. Oh, in real life, Jasmine. See, maybe yeah, I don't know, George. That might give a little competition.
That might be, yeah. I can't believe that's very interesting. Well, you know what? That's interesting that you all say Jasmine, because she is my favorite Disney princess. I will say that, but my all-time favorite Disney character, it is I'm trying to think of, because I don't want to give too much. So
you want to say
it's an older character.
It's an older character, and think Ward Kimball, right?
There you go.
No, that's a hint. Older character, Ward Kimball, and that might give it away. So we can continue. We'll keep an eye on the chat.
I'll keep an eye on the chat.
Keep an eye on the chat. But that's interesting. We'll see if anyone guesses it. We'll see. We got more trivia coming up, so there's plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, there's plenty. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, girly nerd, amazing, and yeah, she was really sweet. She made these hand painted little what would you say, like ornament style things with our favorite characters on it.
We gotta stop. We got a winner. We got a winner.
Oh, here we go.
Mr. Seymour Duck.
Mr. Duck got it. Jiminy Cricket, absolutely.
Yes.
So is in real life Jasmine your second favorite? Because it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Naomi Scott, really.
Naomi Scott. Yeah, let's just say Naomi Scott. Just give me Naomi Scott.
Let's not bury the lead here. We all know it. Naomi Scott. Yeah, no, but absolutely Seymour. So we will be sending you the ornament, which is the Lady and the Tramp one, right?
Lady and the Tramp, yes.
Absolutely.
And if anyone, and as I said, I'm going to be doing more trivia throughout the live, so definitely stick around. If you guys want to email me your information so I could send that to you, it's the Italian Stallion 082390@gmail.com.
The Italian Stallion. Okay, do it one more time. I'm sorry. The Italian Stallion.
The Italian Stallion 082390, which is my birthday, August 23rd, 1990, at gmail.com.
Okay, and your social security number is? I was kidding. And you can email him, but you can also just DM him on Twitter if you have Twitter.
Yeah, if you have Twitter, you could do that. So, if you're not on Twitter, that's another form that you could send it to me. And yes, I am the Italian Stallion, because it's like I always say, once you go Italian, it's like riding a stallion while wearing a gold medallion.
You always say that, George?
I always say that.
Wow. Just like oh, shit. That's funny. Wow. So that's hilarious, bro. And that Georgism?
That's a Georgism, yes.
Okay, all right. We need you and Michael Ebba, to do like a coffee table book on all your isms.
We actually talked about that too, because I actually started writing some of Michael's down, because it's hilarious that he can't think of the name of it, but he comes up with something so quick.
Right, exactly. Oh man, that is so funny, bro. Okay, so before we move into some other things, real quick, I also want to give a big shout out to some creators and some big creators who kind of gave us a chance, so to speak. I don't know really how to say that, but like we're not a big channel. I mean, we're on the smaller end, and so we've actually collaborated with a few pretty big channels, and it's humbling that these channels would take a chance on us, right, George? It's like, wow, that's pretty cool, you know? And the one I want to bring up first is Jack from DSNY. Jack from DSNY, because man, he's got an enormous following, and we're a small channel, and he came on our show. Now it's been like, I think like 3 or 4 times, you know? And that was like, I was like fanboying over that. Like, wow, we got Jack from DSNY to come on channel. That was awesome. And it was humbling, right? And not only was it so cool from a nerd perspective, I'm just having him on and just talking Disney with him. We talk a lot privately with Jack. He is the nicest dude. He's an absolute friend of the channel. And yeah, I just want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Jack from DSNY. Really good guy, and we appreciate everything he's done. You know, so what about you, George? Any thoughts on Mr. DSNY newscast?
Yeah, he's Jack is phenomenal. I've been watching him just like how, you know, you started with the channel. I watched him from the very beginning, before he even had his famous couch and his backgrounds and everything. You know, he was standing up against a plain wall with photos on it.
Right.
And so to watch his progression and watch his channel grow and evolve and become what it is today, and then to actually be acquainted to him by, you know, having him on the channel, hanging out with him at Epcot was phenomenal. He and I had
you met him in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got to hang out for a few hours, you know, kind of talk some things, you know, like the direction of where the company's going, how they're looking, you know, and everything. And yeah, just walking around, you know, Epcot, around World Showcase, you know, checking out World Celebration and everything, and just chilling. You know, he's a phenomenal guy. He's really cool, and I have the utmost respect for him.
100%. The next person I want to bring up is Mr. Drunk 3PO, Mr. Drunk 3PO Jay. Now, here's the thing with Jay. We don't agree on a lot. I think, I mean, we agree on some stuff, but on a lot we don't, right? If you want to talk Star Wars, you know, and all that stuff, there's disagreements there. But Jay reached out to us, what was it, like 2 years ago now? It was a while ago.
I think so, yeah.
It was a while ago. And he's like, I want to have you guys on the channel, you know, and we went on his channel, and he is such a sweet dude. And this is the thing, like in this world of toxicity, fan toxicity or whatever, he like, where people, if they don't agree, they hate each other, and there's all the animosity. Despite our disagreements in the fan world, in the fan community, Jay's a really, really nice guy. He's been really good to us, you know. And so I also want to thank Mr. Drunk 3PO for being a good friend. What about you, George?
Absolutely, yeah. He had us on his channel. He came on OG55, you know, and yeah, he's another kind of person that goes in depth with a lot of stuff that you may not necessarily even think about, you know, to have a discussion with. But, you know, we may respectfully disagree with some things, you know, we may agree, but it's like, at the end of the day, we could just have a normal civilized human conversation. Civilized.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big shout out to Jay Drunk 3PO. And then I also want to bring up Provost Park Pass. Mm-hmm. Provost Park Pass, Chris and Amanda. Mm-hmm. They came on. We've never been on their channel. They came on OG55 maybe about a year and a half ago.
They came on. You were with us because we bumped into Provost in line for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway,
right,
for the grand opening, and we had a chat with him like while we were in line, and we got to ride the ride with him, you know. Yeah. And afterwards, we exchanged numbers and everything, and he said, you know, if you want to have me on the channel, just let me know. You know, throw me the topics. So I ended up messaging him. You know, we had him on, and he asked, you know, could I bring, you know, my wife on too? And we love her, and she's a huge Star Wars fan. Yeah. She loves Star. We have to actually have her back on because I think that she was looking forward to discussing more Star Wars. So, yeah. So hopefully, if she's still interested, I would love to have her back on and talk some Star Wars. But they were awesome. I'm a huge fan of his channel, his park, his in park stuff. And the one thing with Provost that he does these kind of
dad jokes,
corny dad jokes, but they're so witty and they're so clever that it's just like you have to laugh at it.
Come on. When he throws those dad jokes out there, and he did a few of them when we were in line for Mickey and Minnie's, you can't help but laugh. It's contagious. I think he even did one or two in the video we did, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, really, really cool stuff. They are really great people, and they make great content. They really, really do. But before we move on to our Q&A section, George, any other creators you want to shout out?
There's actually one more that definitely a shout out to Danny from Five Fires.
Oh, yes. Danny from Five Fires. Absolutely. And we met him last week? No, week before last.
Week before,
at the park.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, amazing guy, man. And he is so much fun. And we really want to bring him back on again very soon and talk some shop. We got a lot to discuss since the last time he was on here,
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, they do a great Danny and Mondo from Five Fires. They do a great show every Sunday called Speculation Sunday. And if you like OG55, you'll love their Speculation Sunday because they kind of go into all the different parks. They'll do Disneyland, but they'll do Knott's too, and they'll dive into Universal and they'll take questions and they just nerd out kind of like what we do here. And they just talk about parks, possibilities, speculations, and all that good stuff. So yeah, definitely check out Danny and Mondo. And Danny has his own YouTube channel. Just ask Danny. So make sure you also subscribe to his, along with Five Fires. Now, before we move on to the Q&A, should we play the very first? This is straight from the OG55 archives. Okay.
Yes.
The very first video on the channel. It was about Mission Breakout. This is. Man, I'm telling you, this is so cringy, but we got to do it, man. This is
have to.
Oh, here we go. This is so cringe. This is the thing with being like a creator, right? Your first video is always going to be your work. Okay?
I will say, Kaylee will definitely will love this because you're rocking that Oswald shirt.
You know what I'm saying, dude? I've been and I got the Oswald behind me too. You can see him on the shelf. Absolutely. I'm rocking Oswald right and left, So we're not going to play the whole thing. We'll do the first few minutes. I don't even know if you can really hear it because this is literally my first video. I don't have a mic. I was just using my iPad, propped up on a.
If it plays well, I just let it run because it's 3 minutes and 44 seconds. So
I
just let it run.
Okay, I'll put captions on because they're on. Okay, because the audio is pretty bad. But this is the very first OG55 video, straight from the OG55 archives. Here we go.
Hey everyone, so this is my channel. I'm starting. Basically, we're just going to talk about Disney news. That includes Star Wars, Pixar.
Can you hear it, or is it too low?
It is kind of low, but I think that's what makes it though. It shows how you started to
right.
Great.
General Disney news, theme parks. So my name is Christopher, and this first episode is actually going to be about the Guardians of the Galaxy Tower of Terror makeover. Now, the elephant in the room is, the artwork that was released a couple months ago was, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, was pretty bad. Okay. But overall, I'm actually pretty excited about this new approach to Tower of Terror. And the reason being is I think overall we had the weakest tower out of all the towers.
Now, real quick, we're going to break down the first video. Real quick, this is kind of funny because I'm kind of making the case in this video, hey, have an open mind, right? Because the artwork looked pretty weird, right? We were all of us were this is the ugliest thing we've ever seen, right? And it turned out to be dope as fuck, That's why I'm always telling people, wait until you ride it because you never know. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. I just have to say this of how you paused the expression of yourself. This is what's in your mind right now, rewatching this video.
Right, exactly. I'm telling you, those first videos, man, and you're nervous and stuff.
But I have to tell you, bro, and you still look good. You still look good after all these years. You haven't aged.
I appreciate that.
At other Disney parks, aside from Paris, which actually has the same one that we have. But I think for the ride itself, the actual experience, I think it's going to be a much better experience. I think they're really going to come and really bring us a really cool, different take on this ride. Now, my only concern with the Guardians redo is really about the look of the building and how it fits into the overall area and the theme.
Yeah, see, that was my big thing back then, was like, you're going to have Tower, right? Because this was before, remember, this was before the Avengers Campus announcement. This is like in 2017, early 2017 or late 2016. So it was like, we're going to have this big tower now like this, and it's going to stick out like a sore thumb in Hollywoodland. Now, since then, they've fixed that problem because they built Avengers Campus around it. But that was the biggest issue for me personally when they announced this thing. Like, how is this going to look in Hollywoodland?
Oh, it's still, to me, we still don't know if it's going to be Marvel Land that will take over all of Hollywood. Will Marvel Land be like a sub area? And, there's a lot of rumors now, too, that the Monsters, Inc. Ride and the old Muppets and that whole area will become Marvel as well.
And see, that was when
the Eastern Gateway was like, but look how even back then, like that was even like in talks of on the chopping block, and now
right, and we're still talking about it. We're still talking about that, how that whole area is all on the chopping block, and now it's going to be Pandora, right? I'm telling you, this area is going to outlast everything. It's going to outlast everything. It's going to be there forever.
Yep.
So there's a lot of questions. What's going to happen? They just opened the Frozen stage show at the Hyperion. So if you have Guardians on this end and you have the Marvel area over by the Monsters Inc., are they going to connect the two? Are they going to get rid of Frozen? So what's going to happen? That's really my biggest concern right now, is how are they going to incorporate this into the larger picture?
Can you pause that real quick?
Yeah.
And to answer your past self, we still don't know.
We still don't know. Exactly. Future OG and future George still don't know a past tense OG. We're still wondering.
My big fear. I want it to be somewhat, at least loosely tied to the California theme, so maybe they can make it Marvel Studios. Maybe they can, make it like a sub area of Hollywood and make it a whole Marvel Studios area. But I'd like them to at least try to kind of incorporate it into the Hollywood theme a little bit. I wouldn't really want all of Hollywood to turn into Marvel Land.
Yeah, and I still kind of stay true to that. Like, I think Hollywood as a theme can work. It hasn't been executed properly, Yeah. I think that that's why I'm kind of against just turning all of Hollywoodland into Pandora. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, for the park itself, unless they change the whole theme of the park. I mean, that's a whole different ballgame then. But yeah, I like Hollywoodland, and I take that back. I like the Hollywoodland theme, but it just isn't a good version of it right now. And I also love the red car trolley. So if you get rid of Hollywoodland, well, now you're getting rid of all that trolley. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people don't care. Like, why is OG giving a shit about the trolley? I love the trolley. I will die on that hill. I love the red car trolley. That's why make it Zootopia. Then you can just put animal print on the trolley and call it.
Yeah, and you could just keep the trolley. I agree with you. I love the Hollywood theme. I think if they would have went more traditional, old Hollywood, sort of like how they did on Sunset Boulevard at Hollywood Studios, I think that better look would have been more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely.
It's kind of jarring when you go into California Adventure and there's an area just dedicated to Marvel. That's a little weird thematically. At least if it's tied to Hollywood, it makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, so interesting stuff, man. That was straight from the OG55 archives. That was the very, very first video we ever dropped. And then actually he still watches the channel, actually, Trey Porter. He commented on one of those early videos. I still remember it to this day, probably maybe the second or third video, and was like, bro, your audio sucks. And I'm like, you know what, bro, you're right. And that's when I got the mic, and then, you slowly start to improve. But yeah, interesting stuff. But should we dive into some Q&A?
Let's hit some Q&A.
Let's hit it. Okay, from Kiki and Luca. Is this a Q&A? Well, it can be. I mean, we're taking questions, so.
Yep. There's your question. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Here we go. Next. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, just kidding.
This is the thing with Kiki and Luca, by the way. Speaking of like just showing love, Kiki and Luca is amazing. We love Kiki and Luca, and some of the greatest questions ever. And they really are, like, a lot of times inappropriate questions, and we love that. We absolutely love it. He says here, would you date a girl if she had irritable bowel syndrome? It means you can get a DAS pass, but she could also crap the bed. Okay, so let's dive into this, George. We're gonna go like an hour on this, okay? No, George. So, would you date a girl with IBS?
Absolutely. Yeah, I really would. And honestly, it wouldn't even be for the DAS pass. It'd be like if I actually had some, common ground interest, and I really, felt feelings for this girl, and she just happened to be, having, the squirts down under, it's, it is what it is, the good with the bad with the good, it's like for better, for worse,
so you're saying,
I guess it's not for better, for worse. It's for better or squirts, it's whatever.
Jeez. So what you're saying, George, is that it wouldn't be for the DAS pass, it'd be for that ass? No, I kidding. Yes. There you go. No, in all seriousness, that's not, no, like, here's the thing too. It's like, I'm not perfect. I got issues. Like, I got anxiety stuff, and all that. I mean, no one is perfect. So if you meet someone that you really vibe with and really click with, and they have like something like IBS, it's like, so what? You know what I'm saying? And
honestly, if you try to go down that checklist to try to find the perfect person,
no,
I hate to say it, you're going to be single for the rest of your life.
No one's perfect. So yeah, absolutely. But great question as usual, Kiki and Luca. Mr. Matthew Murr. We actually recorded a video today with Matthew Murr. It'll be released in a few days. It's all about Disney animation, really cool stuff. But Matthew here says, if this is a Q&A, yes, it is. It can be. What is your favorite Disney film from the experimental era, 2000, 2008? My personal favorite is either Treasure Planet or Brother Bear, the soundtrack for which is sorely underrated, especially since Phil Collins returned. George, I know you have a soft spot for Mr. Phil Collins.
I do. Yes.
So what are your thoughts on this, and what are your thoughts on what Matthew, some of his favorites?
Well, great question, Matthew. By the way, I do love Brother Bear. I do love the soundtrack. I do love how they incorporated Phil Collins into that, especially after his success with the soundtrack for Tarzan, which for me is like the most dominant, soundtrack that he had done between the two, in my opinion. But I still enjoy Brother Bear. I do love Treasure Planet. However, my all-time favorite Disney film in the experimental era would actually have to be The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, okay.
I actually, as I gotten older, I grew to appreciate that movie because I feel like that a lot of the jokes, you kind of understand it in a different perspective as you get older. Right. And, when you watch that film, it's like a lot of the gags, the jokes, the one-liners, it's like, it just makes you laugh. Like there's nothing about it that's like quintessential. Oh my gosh, this is like a masterpiece. Yeah. But it's just a good, funny slapstick kind of movie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So for me, I'm actually going to go Treasure Planet of that era. I think that was a really clever concept to take the story of Treasure Island and kind of do it the way they did it. So I think it was a cool idea, and I think it was really animation wise. I think it was one of the like the most beautiful like aesthetics for an animated film that they've ever done. It's a very different take. So I really liked it a lot, actually. I'm actually really sad that movie flopped at the box office because it's just so good. It's so good. I don't know what it was. Maybe because it didn't have like a banger, as Kaylee called it, a banger soundtrack or whatever. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not really sure. but Treasure Planet is up there for me. I think it's one of those kind of those hidden gems, you know? And it's sad too, because a lot of these movies that don't do well, like Treasure Planet, even Brother Bear, you know, they're not terrible movies, you know? I mean, just because a movie flops doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad movie. So yeah, but great question, Matthew. Really, really good question. And make sure you look out for that video I did with Matthew. Probably next day or two, it'll be released. So check, you know, keep an eye out for that, because it really was a great conversation. And we got Tones right here. We got Mr. Tones Poppy in the house. Bad Thought Studio. Make sure you subscribe to Bad Thought Studio on YouTube. He just hit 300 subscribers. We're trying to get him to 600. Bad Thoughts. He's asking, who has been your favorite guest that you've had on besides Tones Poppy? George, who's been your favorite guest, brother?
Favorite guest.
See, this is hard though, right? Because it's like, because it's kind of like, see, I have a hard time with questions like this, because it's like, okay, for example, like when people ask me all the time, like at work, oh, you're into Disney or you're into Disneyland, right? What's your favorite ride? It's like, how do you answer that question? Because I love Indiana Jones, but then I love the Tiki Room, but they're two totally different things. How do you place all this stuff in one like list? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I like things for different reasons. That's why I have a really hard time ranking stuff. God bless Sean ranking the mouse. We love Sean.
Yeah, that's basically that's basically like his whole channel. He could pull that off, man.
He's great with that, and I respect the hell out of it, because I can't do that. I really can't. So Tones, I'm so sorry. It sounds like a cop out. I honestly can't pick, you know, because I have fun.
Yeah, I'm the same, because there's something different that comes with each guest that, you know, we learn even as we go along, you know, of like what their whole shtick is about. You know, how do they kind of operate? Are they more of like a jokey kind of person? Are they more like down to business kind of thing? And you kind of mold yourself into that conversation, but it's still a great experience, you know, one way or the other. But yeah, I can't like necessarily pick one person in particular over the other.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way, you know, because like it's, for example, like we'll have a guest on, like we had the other day with Tones. We had Made in 93 on. We reacted to K-pop stuff. That was a great video. We had a really good time there. But that conversation, as great as it is going to be different than say a conversation we have with Alia, you know, or
exactly.
Or DSNY or something, right? So how do you compare this stuff, you know? So I don't know. There's value. There's fun to be had with all these guests, and there's cool stuff to kind of take from it. And I'm a people person overall anyway, and I love talking to everybody. So yeah, I'm sorry, Tones. It's just hard. It's really hard to pick because everyone brings something different to the table. Mr. Googamp 32, would you say that Disney Plus will be one of the few surviving streamers, considering the other studios like Paramount and Warner's are crawling back to Netflix? I think so, Googamp. Actually, our buddy, if you're still in the chat, you can also comment on this, because I know Seymour has thoughts on this, but it will probably be one of the last, probably be one of the few left, absolutely, because Paramount's and going through some crazy stuff right now. It's looking like Sony's going to buy them, and Sony as a company, it hasn't really been particularly interested in streaming services. They never did a streaming service. So are they going to want to take on Paramount Plus? Maybe not. They might just shut that thing down, you know? Warner Brothers, from what I understand with Warner Brothers, they're kind of like, they're divvying out their content. They are doing that. Googamp, they are licensing it out to like Netflix and things like that. But from what I understand, Max is doing pretty good. You know, I think they've actually, if I'm not mistaken, and Seymour, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Max has already seen a profit on that. So I don't necessarily think that Max will go under. I think they're going to keep that. But Paramount's is definitely up in the air because of the whole thing going on with the studio in general. They're going to get bought out probably by Sony and Apollo, and who knows what happens to the streaming service when that happens. But what do you think, George? Disney Plus, will it be one of the only few surviving streamers on the block?
I do. I think so, because I feel like that they're starting to kind of get into the niche where, you know, Disney Plus will start to now eventually make a profit, and they are one of the babies of the streaming family, so to speak. Yeah. And I feel like any kind of content with Disney will always be relevant, no matter what you get out of it. And then, of course, with the merger with Hulu, that brings in all that content. And I feel like that they'll just continue to grow and expand, just as Disney has done for many years. So I could definitely see that streaming service thriving beyond others. To be honest.
No, well, yeah. Well, now that they're incorporating Hulu, they got that general entertainment in there. I think Disney's going to be fine with the streaming stuff. It was a money pit for a while. I mean, let's be honest. 100%. It was a money pit for a while, but like startups and like new stuff usually is. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't usually make money on a lot of stuff. Like if I were to open a restaurant right now, it's not going to make money like on day one. Sometimes you got to invest, and then eventually it turns a profit. So same thing with these big endeavors like Disney Plus and things like that. So I think Disney will be fine with it. Absolutely. Yeah. Rachel Castro, congratulations. Thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. And Mr. Andre Rand, congrats on 5K subscribers. Do you have a Patreon? I do not have a Patreon. We do not have one here on the channel. Yeah, we just have the channel pretty much. And then we have a merch store. But that's it. I mean, maybe we should think about that, George. Maybe we should have a Patreon,
Yeah. Everyone in the chat, what are your thoughts actually on that? How would you feel if we started a Patreon part of the channel? And if so, what would be some things that you would even like to see that you would think that would be Patreon worthy?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Or even like if we did, like we were thinking about it, George, right? We're starting like the members tiers, right? Where like, so we can have like members only streams and things like that,
Yeah.
And maybe those streams will be a little bit more risque. You know what I'm saying? We dive a little deeper into the personal stuff or whatever. But we were thinking about doing a members thing. So we might, we'll do a Patreon, maybe we'll do like the YouTube members thing. But yeah, if you want that kind of thing, definitely comment down below because we're open to feedback and we actually have been talking about it. So
yes.
Absolutely. Mr. BJ Vincent, congratulations. OG55 on 5,000. There's nowhere to go but up. Absolutely, BJ. And we appreciate you, man. Like BJ's been very supportive of the channel for a long, long time. So we appreciate you, BJ. Thank you so much. Absolutely. And Girly Nerd here says, Marianne says, it's hard to compete with Tones Poppy as a favorite guest. Hope I come close. Yeah. Tones Poppy, he sets that bar really high. He absolutely does. Yeah. But we absolutely love you both. We do. Absolutely. And go ahead, George.
Really quick. Because Kaylee said that she would definitely join. I guess either like the members of the Patreon, but because she's been calling this for quite some time, that the OG55 After Dark.
I'm telling you, that's what we were talking about, right? Like for a while now.
Yeah.
It's kind of having that OG55 After Dark because it's funny, guys, like, and gals, like we record, right? And then when we hit the stop record button, like we still go on, like all like George and Tones, and we're all still talking after the show. And some of those after shows are crazy spicy, and we could kind of bring a little bit of that spice to maybe the members thing, right? So yeah, definitely, absolutely. Second star, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us today, checking us out. Absolutely. We got Kaylee with 2 E's and a little hibiscus flower. Thank you so much, Kaylee. We do appreciate you. I'm doing the little heart thing, right? Or this,
There you
go. Question: how come on Star Wars night people were not allowed to hug the Ewoks? That's funny. Yeah, I saw casual stream on that. Parkcast.
Yeah, that's how we got on the conversation about this. Her and I were talking about it yesterday because she asked me, because I did Star Wars night and I didn't have a problem with it. I was able to hug the Ewok, with the picture. The 2 girls in front of me, I mean, they held that thing in their arms for like 2 minutes, and it was like there was no problems. But there were several people doing live.
I hope someone doesn't flip that, George. She held that thing in her arm like, I'm sorry. Right,
you're good. You had to. See what you folks would be getting with the After Dark stuff. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly.
But yeah, there were several people on the streaming, Casual being one, that it was actually proof while they were live that the cast members, even to young children, were not letting anyone hug the Ewoks.
That's weird. Why though? Like that's so weird.
I never heard of that. In the years I've been going to Disney, I've never heard a cast member discourage a guest from, hugging a character other than, during the pandy, when there were like restrictions and everything. But that was a first for me. The only thing that I could think of. So anyone in the chat, if you know why, because I sure don't know why, because that night everyone was hugging the Ewok. I don't know if, and I'm not saying this is an excuse for Disney, but I don't know if it was just because that line was very long. And I don't know if on certain nights, if it just gets so backed up that they just try to, get through the line. But I would think that they would say that then, did not have like an explanation.
And that's kind of like, pardon my French, a little shitty though on Disney's part. Because
especially if you're paying for it.
That's what I'm saying. You're paying an arm and a leg to go to this after hours event. It's only it's only a few hours anyway. I get that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like if someone wants to wait in line the whole time, pretty much to hug the Ewok, let them hug the Ewok. I don't understand why they wouldn't. I don't know. That bad call, Disney. I think that you should just,
That's like if I was like dressed in that Ewok costume and Youngjin was in line and she wanted to give me a hug. I'm telling that cast member to one's own. Like it's like it's the whole bar here.
Come on, young, bring it in. Let's hug. Let's hug it out. Let's hug it out. Florentine here says, "Thank you for entertaining us and passion." Talk yourself, OG. Yeah, no, we appreciate you, Florentine, and we love doing this. Like we've been talking about this stuff long before the channel. Like I used to talk about when I was a kid. When I was like 14 years old, I literally would check the Disney stock in the newspaper. Like I would literally check the Disney stock in the newspaper and talk about this corporate stuff with my dad. You know what I'm saying? I've been in this Disney stuff like neck deep for the longest time. So even if I wasn't making content, I would still be nerding out and talking with my friends about it. We love doing it. So we're glad, Florentine, that you are getting some value out of it and you're having a good time too. We appreciate that. Thank you. Googamp 32. Would you say that Twilight coming to Disney Plus is a sign of the streamer's strength? And do you think that more movies from other studios will be added? Well, yeah, it is a sign of the streamer's strength because they can, if Disney's more willing to bring in this third party stuff, that's money. That's oh yeah, you got to. Yeah. You know what? We'll do a different one this time. We'll do this one.
Brand new money, brand new hundreds, got a bunch of zeros like a bag of new Funyuns.
That's like a bag of Funyuns. You know what I'm saying? That's like all those zeros, like a bag of Funyuns, like Lil Wayne was just saying. That's a lot of money that they can bring in. Netflix makes a ton of money on that, bringing in those licensing, right? So it's a good thing for Disney Plus. It's a smart thing for Disney Plus. But Disney have to be very careful, though, because Disney's a very strong brand, and you don't want to dilute that. You know what I'm saying? And when you bring a lot of outside stuff in, you might. I don't know. But correct me if I'm wrong, George. Doesn't Disney Channel do that already, though? Don't they bring in a lot of outside stuff already? I haven't watched Disney Channel in a long time.
They used to. Now, I do remember that they used to have certain movies that they allowed outside and they brought in. And but I don't know if they still do that now, but I think what kind of saves Disney in this aspect is because Hulu they kind of intermix it. Like if you go onto the streaming service, it could be on the main page, but I do love how if you click something specifically of Disney, you just get the Disney options. Then if you click on that, the Hulu icon, then you get everything that was included with Hulu. And so I think, that does bring a lot of traction for people who are, Twilight fans, for people who are, whatever else is on, Hulu.
Taylor Swift too.
Exactly.
I mean, that's not Disney.
Yeah, you go on there, you get a lot of Swifties. They'll go on and watch Taylor Swift, but it's like, hey, they might have got another subscription just to watch that. And it's like, hey, we got all this other content. We might as well just keep this subscription, and it's, and I think it's a good strategy on Disney's part to do that. But you're right, though. You have to be very careful because if you overmix a little bit too much, then you start to kind of lose your own identity, and you want to keep that original content of Disney.
Right. Netflix can be a little more loosey-goosey with it because it's just more of an what's it called? Aggregator, I think the right term. Yeah. Where they're not really a brand. Netflix. It's not like it's just more like they just collect content, and that's just the platform that it's shown on. Where Disney is an actual brand. Disney has a brand image, you know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different beast, you know? So they have to be careful, but it's a good thing they're bringing in outside stuff because it does bring in money and it makes the streaming service more profitable, you know? Because those companies, Twilight, all these studios that want to play their stuff on Disney Plus, you know, they have to, you know, it brings money into the streaming service. So it's a good thing for Disney and for both parties, really. But Kaylee with 2 E's, I'm still so sad I couldn't meet you guys in the park when I was there a few weeks ago. We're sad too, Kaylee. But we have good news, don't we, George?
We do. We do.
Let the good people at home know what we're talking about here?
Yes, absolutely. So actually on my way back from the April trip, I've actually ended up booking arrangements to come back in June, in the very beginning of June, and I believe it's around the time of somebody's birthday. Just saying.
You want to give? We haven't set up a meetup date in June yet, right? Like.
Correct. Yeah, we didn't have. So what OG and I were discussing, because we were still going to do an OG55 meetup in August,
right?
Which is going to come a week after the expo. But however, if there are people who would like to participate in the meetup but can't necessarily do August, since I'm coming back out in June, we were thinking of doing, as Bob Iger always says it, not 1 but 2 meetups. So if you could, if it's actually more convenience to meet up in June, we could do a meetup. It'd probably be better on like one of the weekend days. I think that would be probably better for all of you. And then the other one in August.
Yeah, so the June one will be like first week of June, right?
It would be probably either June 8th or 9th.
And then August would be
August 17th.
Yeah, so those are the 2 options. So we're going to have meetups on both of those time frames, June and August. So if you can't make June, you can go to August. If you can't make August, you can go to June. But yeah, we're definitely going to do that, Kaylee, and it's going to be awesome. Awesome. And we got Mr. Googamp 32. Do you think that Florida's next governor will be more amiable to Disney than DeSantis was? I think so. And honestly, it's going to be probably another Republican. Okay, almost certainly. Yeah. You know, Florida is much more of a red state now than it has been. But here's the thing: even if it's another Republican, even Donald Trump wasn't all in on the DeSantis versus Disney thing. Donald Trump made tweets on his platform, Truth. I believe it was True Social. I believe it is.
I think so. Yeah.
During that time period where he was like, "What is DeSantis doing with this thing?" So Trump is very pro-business, and a lot of stuff that DeSantis was doing with Disney was kind of anti-business, or at least it was perceived that way to even conservatives. So yeah, even if you get a Republican, I think there's a chance that it might be more pro-Disney. But what do you think, George? You think we'll get more pro-Disney, or you think we'll get another hater?
I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk.
What do you think, George?
That was perfect. I personally,
by the way, Kendrick is absolutely destroying Drake. I don't know if you guys in the chat are following that whole beef. Kendrick is absolutely killing it. Go ahead, George.
Not a problem. I personally feel like that the turmoil that it caused DeSantis's reputation to where it ended up, where it kind of was in Disney's favor anyway, and it caused a lot of hassle and court headaches and what have you. I don't think anyone is going to ever really want to go down that route again, especially since DeSantis and Disney kind of met somewhat in the middle with an agreement, and I think that they're just going to want to keep it at that. So there's nothing else that's going to rock the boat. And potentially, whoever is the next Florida governor, if they decide to run for a presidential run, you know, they're not going to want to mess with that, because then it'll hurt them in the long run like it did DeSantis.
Yeah, well said. And you said stuck in the middle, and I don't have a drop for that. Maybe knows exactly where I was going with stuck in the middle, but yeah, I got to get a drop for that. But one day, one day, absolutely. Undead Nerd. My birthday was May the 4th. I'm officially an adult now. Well, happy birthday, Undead Nerd. Happy birthday.
Awesome. Yeah, happy birthday. Awesome.
And may the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, George.
And especially today, it's Revenge of the 5th. So.
Oh, it is.
May
the
5th be with you. And before we move on, it's time for another trivia roundup here. So whoever wants to participate again. So I have here a Mickey Mouse Let's Go travel pillow. So for anyone who wants to have a Mickey Mouse travel pillow, for those long flights that you're either going to Walt Disney World or Disneyland, a Disney cruise, or even an international Disney park, that's the way to go, right? So, okay, so to win the travel Mickey Mouse neck pillow, the question is, and whoever rings in first, who was the very first voice who is the first person who provided the voice for Mickey Mouse?
The very first person. Okay. And this one is this is easy, but I can see how, we'll see. We'll see if we'll get this. The very first voice of Mickey Mouse. Interesting. This one's kind of
Starship 824 got it. Walt Disney.
There we go. There he is. Okay, so Starship, go ahead and, because I know Starship's on Twitter. Yeah. So Starship, go ahead and DM the Italiano. DM your address and your information, and he will send you out the lovely Let's Go Mickey Mouse pillow. There we go.
There we go. And there we go. Let's go.
Let's go. That's not like Mario, actually.
Yes.
Okay, look.
You have your coin drop?
Right? No, exactly. I don't know. I got a Kendrick drop.
I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate it.
Let's go. Oh man, I'm telling you, we gotta do a show on that. We'll do a show on that. Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead to the next question. Oh, we have here. Please understand, OG55. Appreciate you. Please understand. Really do appreciate you. California Dreamin', been a long time viewer. Yes, you have. We California, we appreciate you. I believe he's been watching for a few years now, at least.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And we still have to get him on the channel. We talked about it a while ago. We got to get California Dreamin' on the channel. Absolutely. 100%. And Kaylee here says the Webinator. Yeah, Mr. Webba. You gotta love
Webba.
You gotta love him, dude. Let's see here. Oh, look at Tones, man, with the Korean. Look at Tones, man. Awesome. This is awesome. Okay, so let's see here. I'm trying to find another question. Fiji 93. Hey, OG crew, celebrating my 54th birthday and saw this on my phone. Fiji, happy 54th birthday. That is absolutely
happy
awesome.
Birthday.
Cool. Oh, here we go. I found a question. Googamp, should Disney make their own music streamer to compete with Apple Music and Spotify the same way that Disney Plus is to compete with Netflix? What do you think about that?
I think, honestly, to be honest, it would be a good route. However, I kind of want to wait and see what the big news is during the quarterly earnings call on May 7th, because there was some rumbles in the jungle that, Apple may be, having a partnership with Disney. And if that is the case, Apple Music may be part of that equation, if that's the route that they decide to kind of go into a partnership.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it'd be interesting. They might even be able to maybe even weave that into Disney Plus, right? Like maybe have like a place where you can kind of. Now, I'm not a tech person, so the tech people in the chat, please correct me if I'm wrong. But isn't there a way that maybe they can kind of do both with Disney Plus, like add a music option? How's that work?
It's possible. Maybe like yeah, I guess they could do like a type of like a video playlist kind of thing if they wanted to. I really wish that they would add like the extra special features, like how they used to do like on DVDs. Like if you click on a particular movie, they can give you like the behind the scenes, the documentary stuff to it, and that would be kind of cool.
Absolutely. And Mr. Tones Poppy here says George is one of a kind. Actually, in all seriousness, George is one of a kind. George is a really good guy. We have a lot of fun, George and I, and he's been my rock. he really is. He's a really great guy, and we've been doing this for a long time, and he's a friend. And I like, seriously, like, it's the recordings and stuff. You guys see like this much of it, but like, we're on the phone. I call this guy all the fucking time.
Yeah. Constantly. Yeah. And that's why I said when we say that we're family here on OG55, that's just not a take on words. Like, we truly mean it. As I said, I take this guy as my brother. Literally, there's not a day that goes by that we don't talk on the phone, whether it's about the channel, whether it's about recordings, whether it's about other extracurricular activities. Just like
right.
But we just have a good time. It's as I said, I'm so glad and grateful that he gave me a shot to come on the channel, because as I said, I always took him as a great friend. But I feel like after this past summer, with everything that had went on, like with my the end of my marriage and what have you, and us going on that very long trip, I feel like that he and I got very, very close, even more than what we already were. And as I said, that's definitely a brotherhood that can't be broken.
Yeah, no, well said, bro. Well said. Absolutely. Theme Park Horizons. Just want to pop in for a second. Congrats on 5K. I remember watching you like 5 or 6 years ago, and then I took a little break from the community, and I rediscovered your channel this year. So glad I did. Well, thank you, Horizons, for coming back. Absolutely. It's the channel has changed quite a bit since then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Kaylee said, I had a whole different setup. I had a whole different setup back here. It's different. But it is different. And it's weird too when you start, like, that's why when people always ask, like, oh, should I start making content, right? And like, they get worried about like, oh, my video is going to suck or whatever. Your first probably 15, 20, 30 videos are going to suck, You just got to get in there and just do them. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. And it's going to become easy peasy, you know what I'm saying? But like, but that's the thing. It's like, it changes and evolves. And the channel now is a massively different thing than it was when I was doing solo stuff in front of that bookcase. It's pretty funny. We got Slimer in the chat. Slimer here says, I have to get up early for work, but I just want to say congratulations on yet another milestone, and thank you for embracing me as part of the OG55 family. Big love, Slimer. We absolutely love you. And Slimer has like we said, he came in on officially on the team in September, and we love this guy. He brings a great perspective, passionate park fan. And Slimer, thank you so much. Any thoughts, George?
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, Slimer is a major contributor to the channel. Take him as family also. As I said, I got to hang out with him. I talked to him on the phone. We text, we joke around. It's just like, as I said, you guys are more family than actually my actual family ever really was, and it's like, I'm a big believer that blood's not thicker than water.
Right. Absolutely. I completely agree. And Slimer, we talk a lot with Slimer, outside of the show and stuff, and he's funny dude and just a great guy. So yeah, thank you, Slimer, for joining us and being part of it, because we love you, man. We do. We love you. David Mancini. David here says, love this show. Congrats. Well, thank you, David. We appreciate you, man. And David's been watching for a while. I remember seeing David's
is it Mancini or is it Mancini? It might be Mancini because of the Mancini bread. This is an Italian you're talking about. Like,
this is the Italian.
The Italian. It might be Mancini. Yeah.
It's Mancini. Okay.
It might be Mancini. That's how I would pronounce it, but I could be wrong,
No, absolutely. Never know. So it's either Mancini or Mancini. Yeah. David, if you're in the chat,
on top of that with that Parmigiani.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a funny story, bro. Oh, dude. So we were at Naples. We were at Naples last Sunday with Girly Nerd, Kevin, right, and Alia. Okay. Yeah. This is so funny, dude. And Naples has like an Italian ass menu, like, right. like super Italian.
It's super Italian.
Yeah, and I'm Italian, but I'm not that Italian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the waitress comes up to me, and she's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, and I read off. So was it the chicken? I said chicken parmigiani.
Chicken parmigiani. Yeah, it was.
So,
and I just had to just do a double. And it just tickled my funny bone because it was like, I guess it was just like in the moment where you're just like, and the chicken parmigiani, and you're like, hand it off. And I'm like, dude, I'm about to pull your Italian card because like,
give that to me right now. Give it to me right now.
But it was awesome. We were all laughing, and that's the great thing about, especially on not even just on the channel, but just us as people that, you know, we love to joke around with one another. We we bag on each other all the time, and it's hilarious.
It's fun. It really is fun.
Especially because, see, and I'll even do one on me because I did one on OG, but he knows probably what I'll be talking about with me is that I'm a very I'm a stickler when it comes to my finances, and it's like, it's not that I'm frugal, but I'm very cautious and careful. And anytime, like if I have like downtime and he sees me pull out my phone, he sees that calculator out, and he's like, "Oh, dude, what's going on now?"
You got the calculator. What'd you do, George? What'd you do? What'd you spend it on? You know what I'm saying? Funny stuff. Awesome. Funny stuff. Kaylee with 2 E's. See you at the Phil Collins come out of retirement tour, George.
Yes.
Is that a thing or no?
He should, because honestly, and it's a shame too, because Phil Collins is a immaculate talent. I love his music. I mean, he's a beast on the drums. Right. It's just a shame that, you know, with his, you know, his ailments and everything, it forced him into retirement. I really don't think that he would actually come back to performing live again. But if he would, and I had the opportunity, I definitely would go see him in a heartbeat.
Is he as good as Kendrick?
I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you.
Okay. I'm like totally overusing my Kendrick drop. I'm just excited.
Yeah, of course.
Love Low here says, do you think Phil Collins could make another Disney soundtrack now? Oh, that's interesting. What do you think, George?
Again, I don't know. I mean, that would be more of a bigger possibility than doing a live show, because at least in the studio, they can like use a lot of like dubbing and, you know, and working with like the sound. And especially if you're in the recording studio, they can kind of do different takes and what have you. I personally don't see it happening. I think he's in full, you know, retirement, you know, and I think, but I mean, that would be great if he could actually pull it off, because the Brother Bear and of course the Tarzan soundtrack was phenomenal. So
good. So good. And we got Jay Pike in the house, 5K. Jay Pike is connected to Hey Bricky's channel. Jay Pike, thank you so much for joining us, brother. And he goes on to say here, so good. OG55 hit 5K on 5/5 at about 5 p.m.
Oh, man.
55. That's awesome. We love that. That is really, really cool. Maybe here says, my favorite guest was the pups on New Year's Eve. Oh, that's when I showed the dog.
Yes, I brought my pup. I think we all did. It was you, me, and Slimer.
Yes.
We shared our pups.
Yes. And actually, fun fact, George and I have a dog named Mickey because I'm a shill. And George has a dog named Mickey because I'm a shill. We're shills, you know? Why not? It's awesome. Yeah, no, the dogs. Oh God, I love dogs. I'm totally a dog person. Mr. Tones Poppy, Bad Thought Studio. Make sure you subscribe to Bad Thought Studio on YouTube. They do great content, Marvel, Star Wars, anything studio related, you know, like Game of Thrones, all that stuff. So make sure you subscribe to them. George and I are on that channel all the time. So definitely check it out. So Bad Thoughts is asking, who is a dream guest you want on the show? So I have a few actually here. So anyone from Blackpink, you can come on and be on the show. Okay. Jenny, Lisa, Jisoo, Rose, you want to come on? We'll talk shop for sure. Absolutely. Just call me. Okay. I would love to have Yuki on from G Idol. Who else would I like to have on? Anyone from the Seraphim, but Youngjin is my bias.
Why don't we just save the time and just say the whole K-pop community?
There you go. Whole K-pop community, right? Yeah, Youngjin. Awesome. And then, so that's like a K-pop dream wish list. And then like for Disney, Seriously, I would want Bob Chapek. I want to get him on the channel. I want to spill some tea with Chapek. I want to talk to him. I want to pick his brain about like what happened. Like if he would do this, Chapek, if you're watching and you can do this, like there's no NDA, whatever. Like come on, OG55, we'll talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I really want to pick his brain.
That would, I mean, the day that he does release his book, I guarantee you that book would probably fly off the shelves faster than Iger's book.
Oh, dude, the amount of like gossip and tea that would be in there would be crazy. You know what I'm saying? What about you, George? Who's your dream guest?
So for me, I also have a few. Speaking of the K-pop community, because I did get into it. So maybe not like as a diehard like you yet. I'm not like there, but yeah. I am a huge fan of Yeonjun. I mean, if we were able to get her on, hey, you know what? It could be possible.
Oh yeah, well it could be. Because George, I heard nothing is impossible.
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 You can change the word impossible with just one thing. I'm possible.
Crap!
You all can become possible. In the word impossible, there's I'm possible.
You can become possible. Never forget that. Never forget that.
Also, Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Espresso.
Yes. Espresso.
Yeah. Okay, Sabrina Carpenter. Okay, anybody else? Anyone in the Disney
There's
world?
A lot more I could add to that, but I'll save that for the Patreon.
Exactly.
And as far as my Disney bias side, you actually said Chapek. I'm actually going to say, to believe it or not, who I would love to have on right now is Josh D'Amaro.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because I would love to know, in all truth and honesty and no sugarcoating, that I would like to know, was he stuck between a rock and a hard place with his position as chairman of parks during the last 4 years? Did he not have as much control that we may have thought that he had, but he really didn't, as far as producing more of the parks?
That is that would be a conversation I would love to have with Daddy Josh. That would probably be a conversation though, if he was ever like willing to come on the show. And Josh, you're always welcome.
Yes.
Call me, you're always welcome, Josh. But that's something that like he would probably have to be gone, like leave the company to kind of divulge into that. But I would love to know that too. That's fascinating. Absolutely.
Really quick. Kaylee is asking, she said she's lame, which Kaylee, you're not lame, but
nah.
She says, I'm lame. What's a shill? LOL.
A shill is a term people use when you just kind of like love everything like a company does, or love anything that like anything does. Like, okay, let's say you're a Taylor Swift fan and you think she's perfect and she makes no mistakes, you know what I'm saying? And so you're a Taylor Swift shill, right? Now, nowadays in the fandom, that word is thrown around so willy-nilly that if you like anything Disney, you're a shill. You could say, hey, I like The Little Mermaid, and oh my God, you're a shill. It's overused, just like woke is, just like a lot of things, but that's a shill. That you just are like this unapologetic fan of stuff that doesn't really criticize. So George and I like to make fun that we're Disney shills, that we're getting that, that shill money, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. Starship 824. What kind of big announcements do you think might happen on the earnings call on Tuesday? It's funny. So they're gonna well, go ahead, George. I'll let you start off. What do you think, brother? What do you think is going to be announced?
So for me, I thought the bells and whistles kind of went off when they made the announcement of the timing that the earnings call will be taking place, which is very early in the morning, and it's very, very early in the morning on the West Coast.
Right.
And they had specifically said that they wanted the earnings call out before the trades actually opened that day, which it tells me that there's probably going to be some big news. And we had touched upon it earlier in the live that I had mentioned. There's a possibility of a partnership with Disney between maybe either Apple or Berkshire.
Okay.
And of course, the infamous notion of the elephant in the room. Could we be knowing the announcement of Iger's successor as CEO?
Yeah, and Seymour, if you're still in the chat, we'd love to have you chime in on this as well. We're going to talk about it with Seymour on the channel on that earnings call day. But yeah, my kind of head is at like a successor because they're doing it before the bell, which kind of would lead you to believe that like they want to get that person out there and do all the like the CNBC interviews, Bloomberg interviews. I think it might be the successor. I mean, I could be wrong. We could be wrong, you know, but it's going to be something big though. The fact that they're switching it up like that and doing it early, that's unique. That's not necessarily normal. So whether it's a successor, whether it's like, you know, some big investor coming in, Berkshire Hathaway, whatever, Apple deal, something big. It's a big thing. So we'll see, man. It's buckle up. Here we go. And Mr. Seymour Duck says, yes, Max is profitable, a tiny profit, but still profitable. That's what I thought, Seymour. Thank you for adding to that. Yeah, Max is profitable. It's a sliver, but it's definitely going in the right direction. So yeah, I don't think they're going to jump ship from Max anytime soon. I think WB is going to keep trying to build upon that. But like I said before, Paramount though everything is up in the air with Paramount right now because they have just all kinds of stuff going on. The girly nerd, Marianne says, what are some favorite non-K-pop artists? And can I convert OG into a country fan? I can be persuasive. Now, okay, so I've never, ever liked country music, girly nerd. It's really not my thing, but I'm an open guy and I'm willing to be converted or persuaded. You know what I'm saying? So I'm open to it. Now, look, I'll be real with you. I knew about K-pop for a long time, like years and years and years. And I never thought I would ever like K-pop. I thought, oh, come on, you know, I don't speak Korean, you know, I don't know, am I going to like it? And I gave it a shot and I really, really loved it. I fell in love with it. Now I'm like a super fan. So anything is possible. And maybe I will become a country fan. If you can send me some.
Did you say maybe?
Oh, I did say maybe. Hold on. We said maybe. When we say maybe, we got to do the maybe drop.
Cause I'm that girl that drives you crazy, but you're killing me alone. Got to thinking maybe alone. Got to thinking maybe alone. Got to thinking maybe.
There we go. Shout out to maybe. Yeah, so I'm open to being persuaded, but historically, I'm not a big country guy. I grew up a lot on hip hop and rap.
So what you're saying is you're hating on country right now.
Yeah, I'm a hater. Oh, what?
I'm the biggest hater. I hate the way that you walk. I'm the biggest hater.
Oh, wow. I can't turn it off now. No, I'm not a hater. But I'm a rap, hip hop, R&B guy. Now I'm a K-pop guy, definitely. But some of my favorite non-K-pop artists, I like Kendrick Lamar. I like Jay-Z, Tupac, Nas, Jadakiss, dang, Key Sweat. I like Key Sweat. Got me twisted.
Key Sweat. Got me twisting over you.
Yeah, Babyface. Yeah, that's kind of who I'm into. I'm trying to think in terms of hip hop. Yeah, I mean that's kind of like where I'm at. Biggie. So those are just a few that I liked. I liked Wu-Tang. I like Method Man. So yeah, what about you, George? Some non-K-pop fans?
For me, I'm very eclectic when it comes to music. I love a whole bunch of music. It just depends on what mood I'm in. I do listen to certain country songs. I do listen. Even I'm not a big rap guy, but there are some rap songs that I do enjoy, and I also love where they integrate rap into a lot of like R&B. Yeah. I do love soft rock. Some hard rock, AC/DC, Def Leppard, Van Halen. But then I love, again, yeah, like the country, music, which this is funny, Tim McGraw, because I ended up mentioning that on our, Goofy Sky School challenge.
Right.
With Jackie. Shout out to Jackie. The Shania Twain. I'm a huge Shania Twain fan. So yeah, it just depends on like what like I'm in the mood for, really. But I'll pretty much listen to anything as long as it's music that I can have somewhat of a connection to.
Yeah, you don't listen to Drake, do you? Just kidding. Yeah, no. Yeah, we're open, and I'm open to being persuaded. If there's country out there, send it to me, Marianne, and I'll check it out. And you never know, I might like it. Absolutely. BJ Vincent, hi OG and George. There is a rumor floating around that Disney is forcing Tokyo Disneyland to destroy their Splash Mountain against their will. That sounds intense. To Tiana's Bayou Adventure. What are your thoughts? I don't know. I mean, wasn't the rumor before that it's back.
It's back up now. It's circulating, but I don't know as far as the intensity that they're forcing them. I do know that Disney came to the OLC and said, we would be willing to pay for Tiana to go into the park, and OLC refused because I think it's more so that Tiana is not a big market, in Tokyo. Yeah. I think more Splash Mountain is. And so I don't know if it's to the degree of like how it's being perceived that Disney is forcing Tokyo. It may be in talks and negotiation where Tokyo is willing to hear Disney out. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think OLC will either make that final call on their own terms.
Yeah, because there's a narrative out there that that Tokyo, the OLC doesn't want Tiana's because Tiana's is bad, or it's a bad ride, or that and I don't think it's anything to do with that. I really don't. If you look at Tiana's, the outside Tiana's with all the foliage on that mountain, it looks a lot like Fantasy Springs, y'all. Okay, it looks a lot like Fantasy Springs, which OLC obviously is okay with because it's built. Okay, so I don't think they're really like, it's not. I don't think they're against the idea of. I don't think OLC is like, this is a bad product. I think George is right. I think OLC just, I don't think Tiana necessarily is a character that really resonates out there in Japan, and that's more the concern, and Disney's willing to kind of work with them and see if they're willing to change their mind, but. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't know. We'll see what happens, and if they change it, they change it. It is what it is. I think it's okay to be nostalgic for the old ride, Splash Mountain, but I think some fans get a little too wrapped up in that. It's over. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just kind of have to, at this point, move on. And you have great memories with the old ride, and that's great, and nothing can take that away from you. But there comes a point when fans kind of have to move on from this, and it's gone. I mean, Disneyland and Walt Disney World Splash Mountain, as it was before, no longer exists, and it's never coming back. And all the complaining on Twitter it's not going to change that, and that's what it is. Kaylee with 2 E's. Question: what is your favorite Pixar movie from this decade? Mine is either Turning Red or Elemental. George, what's yours?
So I'm tied between two, but I'm leaning more towards Elemental is my number one. Luca is a close second. Luca actually was my first. And then after seeing Elemental, I just loved how that movie is perceived, that it's, it kind of has like a Romeo and Juliet kind of vibe to it. Like these two kind of opposites, from two different worlds that kind of are brought together. And even though that society is saying that they are not meant to be together, they can't be together. They physically show and prove it wrong, that in some odd, strange way in a corrupted world that, two people that if they end up falling in love with one another, it's love conquers all, sort of thing. And I also love the notion that of how with director Peter Sohn, who actually, the director of Elemental, liked my photos from the Pixar Fest.
That's great.
I was kind of geeking out at that. I thought that was so awesome that he kind of tied into his film of Elemental, because he was the director, kind of like of how he came over, like of how his parents came over to America and started a whole new life. And that's kind of how Ember's family kind of resonated and everything. So I love when a director can find integrity within their own life and incorporate that into a film that may or may not be anything connected to the audience, but for the director, he or she may know what it's about, and it's kind of like that secret hidden message that, you know, someone can find something out of it. And that's where I really respect Elemental. And I feel like Elemental is that core Pixar film that I think that we haven't had in a long time.
Elemental is my favorite, and I love Elemental because it's a beautiful, like you said, it's a beautiful message, you know, and it's a message of, it's an immigrant story, but it's also a story about kind of seeing people who are different than you, but finding that common ground and kind of like, you know, having that open mind, you know, fire and water. It was a perfect message, but it wasn't a message that like beat you over the head with it. It was done in a beautiful way. I thought that was a gorgeous movie, and I'm so glad that it had legs as it went on, and it gained steam, and now it's a fairly popular franchise.
Of course, with opposites attract, that worked out for Elemental with fire and water. It didn't do so well for me and my ex-wife. I was earth, she was water. Together we made mud.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. BJ Vincent, hey, OG and George, with rumors of Disney developing a Kingdom Hearts animated movie. Also, you know, I heard it was a hybrid. It's like animated and live
I think
action.
it's supposed to be a hybrid.
Yeah. Also, with them getting ready to show Descendants 4, could they choose to use one and or both of them as a new land? It's possible. I mean, if it does really well, maybe. I mean, what do you think? You think they could possibly make a Kingdom Hearts land somewhere? And where would you put it?
For Kingdom Hearts, which, by the way, I'm a huge fan of. I'm not a super gamer, but I will become a gamer for Kingdom Hearts. I love that franchise. I grew up with it all the way back from when it first premiered in 2002. I mean, you might be able to kind of get away with it in Magic Kingdom just because it incorporates the many worlds of Disney. You might be able to get away with it with Hollywood Studios. Epcot and Animal Kingdom would be out. You know, I don't really see any kind of connection with that. So if you were to do a land, it'd probably be Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios. Descendants, if they were to do anything, it would probably be tied into with the villains. So probably, you know, wherever they would put the villains, you know. I personally don't want to see that, though, because, again, I'm a fan. I want to see the dirty, nitty-gritty, dark villains. Like, I don't want to see the lighter side of the villains where it's like they're the parents, they have the children, it's everyone singing, holding hands, you know, kumbaya, tickling each other till they all throw up. You know, I don't want that. You know, it's like I want hard edge villains.
You know, and you mentioned that before. You like that. You like that heart, that villain kind of, you know, that heart. Yes. You know, Ali Aloha here says, George, did you tell OG about what happened with the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run with the lights coming on and how it spun? Yet we were stuck for a bit. He did tell me that, Alia, and I'm claustrophobic. That's one of my I love that ride. It's fun. You know, it is fun, but that's one of my issues with that is you're in that little pod, and I'm cool if it keeps moving, but if I got stuck like you guys, ooh, man. How was it, George?
That, as I said, I was fine, but immediately, like, I thought of you, and I turned to Ollie. I was like, because we were sitting there for almost, like, between 5 and 10 minutes, and we were just having fun with these other kids that were in the cockpit. We were just all pressing buttons. Yeah, that's all we were doing because it was still making noise and everything. And we were sitting there, and I thought, okay, we're really not moving. And I thought OG would be like freaking out right now. He'd be like trying to like pound the door open. But the placement of where we were at, we couldn't get out because essentially we're like floating in space, no pun intended, until they brought the rotation back around where we could actually get out of the exit. So yeah, we were sitting there for quite a bit.
Wild. That's absolutely wild. So how long would you say? Like 15, 20 minutes?
I would say 5 to 10.
Okay. But that's long enough though when you're stuck, you know?
Oh yeah. If you're stuck, and especially if you're a person of, you know, being claustrophobic, 5 to 10 minutes could seem like 5 to 10 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's wild. Alia Aloha. I mini interviewed Josh, but had to read between the lines. Ha ha ha. Yeah, she did. Alia went, I forgot how long ago that was. Maybe 6 months ago, I believe. Alia, correct me if I'm wrong. But she did the Adventures by Disney. thing, right? And she went to Imagineering, and Daddy Josh was there, and she got to talk to him. And she interviewed him. We actually have a video on the channel. Check it out. It's Adventures by Disney Review, I think it's called. December, she said.
Yeah, December.
Okay. Yeah, so it's been a little while, yeah. But check it out. Great video. She kind of explains her whole trip and the whole thing. We're going to do another video with her about it because she just recently, we saw her on her Adventures by Disney thing recently. So we're going to do another one very soon with her. So,
and before you move on, I'm going to do a little trivia speed run, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
So for these, these are little mini gifts. So I'm going to kind of bundle them into one. So we have a pair of cute little Minnie Mouse earrings.
Okay.
We have
save those for me, George. Save those for me.
Yes. And it's a Small World, kind of like little wallet.
Nice.
Kind of thing there. And then also a Disney Parks Collection bracelet with Stitch.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So what's the question? And then is this a package deal, all 3 in 1? Or?
This is all 3 in 1. So what I'm going to do with this, since it's all 3 in 1, this is going to be kind of like a little bit of a speed round. So it's so whoever puts this in first, you'll get all 3. Whoever puts in all the names of the 7 dwarfs gets the 3 prizes. So
all 7 dwarfs.
All 7 dwarfs.
In the chat, first person, go. And then while we're waiting, we got Kaylee with 2 E's. Question: why do you think? Oh, actually, before I do that, I want to give a shout out to the Rogue Attraction. Friend of the channel. He does a lot of in-park vlogging stuff at Disney. He does Universal stuff like that. Check him out. Friend of the channel. Awesome guy. Really, really fun stuff. And Kaylee with 2 E's says, you can't introduce Kaylee without doing the 2 E's.
With 2 E's, you have to do.
You have to. Why do you think the off season disappeared from Disney World and Disneyland, especially with the price increasing each year? Well, go
really
quick.
Kaylee, really quick. You put happy twice.
Oh, she did. Hold on, wait. But did she get them all though? Hold on, I think she got them all though. Doc,
no, it's still 7.
She's missing one. Said happy twice. My bad. Yeah, she's missing 1.
You're missing 1.
Ah, she got it.
There you go.
Oh wait. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe not though, because Jizzy JC came in with
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. I think he got 6. Sleepy, grumpy, Doc, sneezy, bashful, dopey. Yeah, he only got 6.
So Kaylee got it. So Kaylee, DM George your address. Actually, I think we already have it because I sent you a shirt.
We have it. Yeah.
So yeah, we have your address, but we will send you the gift. So congratulations, Kaylee. Awesome. Okay, so her question: why do you think the off season disappeared? It's interesting. I think the reservation system might be part of that, at least out here in California, because they're kind of funneling you into the days they want you to go. So they're trying to get you into those off-season days, right? So the days that are busier historically, maybe they'll have less of a bucket to choose from, and they want to funnel you into that Tuesday in April or whatever, you know? So I think the reservation system comes into play. Rogue Attraction says here, 1 second, homeschool increase. That's a possibility too. You know, after the pandemic, things change. Maybe a lot more parents are opting for homeschool stuff.
And that was funny because I had that conversation with you when we were there, especially that Monday after you left the weekend. When I was on the phone with you, the weekend was busy, but that Monday was crazy. Like it was like everybody was there, and I ended up buying Genie Plus for it because it was like if I wanted to do any rides, there was no way that I couldn't without it. And both parks were hopping, Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. And I thought, I'm seeing teenagers, I'm seeing young kids with their parents, and it's like, and even adults. And this is like in the early day. It's like, don't you people have work and school? Like what the heck's going on? Like I'm one to talk. Like I was there for 12 days.
No, I know, but it was crazy. Like Disneyland Resort. See, Rogue is saying that Disney World is slow right now. Rogue, I don't know what's going on here in California. I was with the Italiano like 6 days over the past 2 weeks.
6 days for the 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so I was staying out there with him for a lot of these days and stuff, and like it's been packed out here, like packed, like pre-pandy packed. So I don't know what's going on in Disney World, but George, like every what happened? What am I missing?
Great maybes.
Let me see. Hold on. Here we go. Grumpy, tiny, horny. Yes, that is awesome. That is awesome.
Yes.
Horny. That's great. That is absolutely awesome.
That's great.
See, remember what I said earlier? Remember I said we were giving shout outs right in the beginning, and I said maybe has a way. If you're having a bad day, maybe we'll send you a text or a DM, and it's funny, and she'll make your day.
Well, maybe I will say to this. I do sneeze at times. I am dopey at times. I am grumpy at times. I do blush. If I am horny, I am happy, but there's nothing tiny about it.
There you go. Exactly. Look at George, like Mr. Witty over here, just like boom, boom, boom. So Rogue is saying here, yeah, Walt Disney World is slow. Okay, that's crazy, Rogue, because Disneyland's opposite right now. But he's saying right here, Rise of the Resistance is only a 15-minute wait.
Oh, that's wow. Okay,
dude, that's wild, man.
So I'm thinking of a couple things. I'm wondering, because this was the speculation that a lot of people, and you have said this too from time and time again, OG, that, people only have a certain amount of time to go on vacation, exactly. And as like these parks continue to grow, you need more time. And with Epic Universe on the horizon for Universal, and if people want to experience just even Epic Universe, like even take Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure out, even if they just want to experience Epic Universe just because it's a brand new park, what have you, but they want to tie it into a Disney vacation.
Right.
In order to tie in Universal with Disney, they have to wait for Epic Universe to open. So a lot of people, especially travelers, could be waiting.
It could be. Yeah, exactly. Because the Epic Universe thing is a thing, right? Like we're going to have that in 2025. So that's a good point, George. Maybe families are like, hey, why am I going to do the 2024 trip to Disney World and Universal when I can wait till next summer and I can do all of it with Epic Open. So very, very interesting stuff. Let me see here. I'm kind of checking up the chat. Kaylee says Disney World is closed. Let me go right now. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to go to Animal Kingdom, Kaylee. I really do. I love that park so much. Alia says here, but do normies know about Epic Universe? That is what I'm dubious about. Yeah, that's the thing too, Alia. And I think you've said that before, and I think you're on something with that. The nerds are like us. We are aware of it. We talk about it all the time on social media. It's very much like a thing in our space. But if I'm like at work, if I'm gonna message a coworker and be like, hey, are you aware of Epic Universe? I would wager a lot of them don't know what Epic Universe is. Now, keep in mind, I'm in California, so that might be part of the reason why, but it's not something the normies are really fully aware of right now. Universal hasn't really started a massive marketing push for the normies. They've marketed for sure, but not the massive push yet. So you might be onto something with that. Alia, absolutely. And then Mike here says, and Kaylee George says, check your text messages.
Yeah, I got it.
Got it. Perfect.
Yeah, I got it.
Mike here says, I think regional parks are doing better than bigger tourist destinations. I think Disneyland has a better built-in locals base than Disney World. Oh, that's absolutely. We definitely have a bigger locals fan base. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, Rogue here says Universal is targeting Gen Z creators. I'm going to say something because a lot of people talk about Disney shills and that everyone's a Disney shill, this, that, and the other. I've seen so much. I'm not accusing anyone of being a shill, by the way. I'm just saying, but I've seen Universal aggressively reach out, like what Rogue is saying, aggressively reach out to content creators and not just big creators. Universal reaches out to small creators. So it's interesting because they're kind of locking that in. And look, here's the thing. If Universal reaches out to you, right, and you're a small creator, it's really hard, kind of, right? It's kind of like harder to criticize. It might be a smart move on Universal's part. But Rogue, have you been hearing that too? Like Disney seems pickier when it comes to the creators they reach out to. I'm hearing Universal is targeting and going after creators that are not even really that big. and they're kind of sending this stuff out, these packages and these like marketing packages to a lot of creators. So it's an interesting thing, what's the word for it? Strategy. And it's not a bad one, to be honest with you. It really isn't. Florentine, someone had a channel named Kronos. I said your channel name is like the Kronos name mentioned to the entrance to Epic Universe. He didn't know what to answer. See what I'm saying? That's what Ollie is saying. People don't really know. And that's going to change. I mean, there will be more normie awareness as it gets closer, but right now, not so much. We did miss one. We do apologize, Girly Nerd. What Disney characters do you think you're most like? I said I think I'm a combo of Belle, Rapunzel, Cinderella, and personality. George, what are you? Are you Jiminy Cricket? What are you feeling? It's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
I'll tell you who I'd want to be is Aladdin.
Yes, I knew that one was coming.
he's got Jasmine. He's got a monkey, a flying carpet, a genie, and you can't beat Aladdin.
Yeah.
If I could be anybody, be Aladdin. What do you think, George? What do you think?
Gosh,
it's a tough one. It is.
That is a tough one because I'm trying to really. Because I just don't want to just say somebody just for the sake of saying it. I'm really trying to see.
Are you one of the seven dwarfs? Are you tiny or horny? Which one?
Well, I think anyone who knows me, which one I would be, but which I always am. Sorry, but I'm trying to think of a character that has that persona of being a romantic. That can be serious at times, but has a very, I'd say Flynn Rider.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I'd say Flynn Rider.
Interesting. Okay. Great choice. Rogue Attraction says yes, sub 5K creators. Okay. So I was saying that Universal is reaching out to smaller creators much more aggressively than Disney does. Disney doesn't really reach out to small creators at all. Rogue is saying here that Universal is under 5,000. I mean, that's interesting, Rogue. And he says you're also more female creators. Very, very interesting. Let me see here. We got Kaylee here says, if I was answering that girly nerd, I would say Pooh Bear for me. Aw, that's sweet. That's very, very cute. And we got maybe here. Oh my God, you saw it. Help. Was mid listening to Drake when I typed it. Oh, okay. I think they're having a conversation about Kendrick and Drake. Yeah, we gotta do a video on that. We gotta get Tones. If you're still watching, we gotta get you on the channel. We gotta talk about this Kendrick and Drake thing. I am so into this. We gotta talk about it. Absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon, but we got a couple more here. BJ Vincent, hey OG, a while back in January, you said you saw a commercial for a anime licorice recoil. Well, actually, I was with the Italiano in Nevada, and we're in the room, and it was on Cartoon Network. I think it was like one of those like late night like anime, like Toonami or something, and it was on mute, but we were watching it and stuff. And the animation and everything looked dope, dude. Like I still got to check it out. But he goes here, have you got a chance to see anime, and are there any you have watched? No, I haven't. And that's on my list. I want to watch Licorice Recoil because George and I saw it kind of like in passing. We're getting ready in the hotel room and stuff. But that show
very interesting.
Dude, it looks super cool. I'm definitely gonna check it out. It's on my list for sure. And Starship says a uni sponsor OG now. Yeah, right, sponsor me. I know. I never got an invite from uni. Not once. Let's see here. Alia says, what is going on with those two? So confusing. I'm not a hip hop fan, so I'm lost. We'll do a Kendrick Lamar and Drake show, and we'll break it all down, Alia, and we'll talk about it. And the last and final question of this evening from Starship says, have you guys been watching X-Men 97? No, I have not, but I've been watching Josh from Den of Nerds, and he's loving that show. And I am so intrigued by it. I got to binge it. I'm going to binge the whole thing and just check it out. So it's on my list. I've been really bad. I got to catch up on all this stuff, but I haven't seen it yet. And George, I know you haven't watched it either.
Yeah, not yet. But I am very intrigued with the conversation. So like whenever we do a video, count me in, because that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and he says, "Watch it now."
Watch it now. So, but before we go, because since we hit 5,000 subs, I already did 3. I'm going to do 2 more. Yeah. Kind of trivia giveaways, because it's 5 for the 5,000.
5 for 5.
5 for 5.
5 for 5 while we're going live.
So this next one I have here is going to be kind of a little set. These are called itty bitties. So I have.
Oh man, Kaylee and
Mickey and Minnie, and Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket. Okay. So this is going to come as a whole set. Oh, and before I do that, we got a super chat there, bro.
Oh, Mr. Drunk 3PO. Drunk, thank you so much for joining us, Jay. We do appreciate you. It says here, hail OG, hit me up soon. Got some things to share with you. Okay, awesome, dude. Yeah, I'll hit you up in the DMs, absolutely. And Drunk, thank you so much for joining us, brother. We talked a little bit about Drunk earlier. Drunk, we mentioned you a little bit earlier on in the show. We were talking about, because we just hit 5,000 subs, and we were talking about like some bigger creators that we've become friends with over the years, and that has kind of given like the OG family like a chance, you know, and we appreciated you when you invited us on your channel to talk parks, and we appreciated you when you came on our channel and talked parks with us and stuff. So thank you so much, Jay. We do appreciate you, and thank you for joining us tonight. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right.
So for the itty bitties, this is going to be a one question, but kind of like in a 2-parter type thing.
Okay.
Whoever can put in the opening month, date, and year of Disneyland and Walt Disney World gets the 4 itty bitties.
Baby says, please be a Youngin question. She'd get that one right away. Okay, so one more time. What's the question? One more time.
So if you put in the opening date, month, and year of Disneyland and Walt Disney World, then you get all 4 itty bitties.
Okay, so date, month. Okay, so day, month, and year for Disneyland. Day, month, and year for Walt Disney World.
Yes.
There you go.
Starship.
You got it.
Dang, bro.
You got it. Maybe with
OG55.
That's it.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's freaking awesome. Starship, you did in fact win the itty bitties. So send the Italiano a DM, and he'll send those over to ya.
Which I'll actually be doing a bundle package with his neck pillow.
There we go. But maybe, don't worry, we're closing it out, but we're gonna have some Yunjin very, very soon, as we always do on the show.
And the final one is going to be a Mickey Mouse salt and pepper shaker.
Cool. And what is the question, Italiano?
The question is, what is Mickey Mouse's birthday? Which is the date that Mickey Mouse was basically premiered to the world. Yeah.
See, this is interesting because I know. Oh man, this is well. I know the month and I know the year. Yeah, maybe you got the month right, didn't she? Isn't it?
Yeah. She got the.
And what's the year? Maybe you're almost there. One, just the year. That's all we need.
Oh. Tones.
Tones comes in for the sweep. So Tones got it.
You need that salt and pepper, Tones. I hate you, Tones.
Oh my god, that's absolutely fantastic. Oh baby, you are hilarious. Cordy in California, thank you so much, Cordy. Cordy is a friend of the channel. We love Cordy with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Congrats on 5K. Thank you, we appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's also too, before we close it out, just a few more honorable mentions that we didn't get a chance to, because there were so many people, and it's Cordy in California, Theme Park Casual, Bob from Berry Place. They do great streaming as well out in Disneyland.
Absolutely. Theme Park Wizard, friend of the channel for a very long time.
Yeah,
we have so many friends.
We have so many people. So if there's anybody that we missed, you know, and everything, we do apologize. It's no disrespect to you. It's just there's a lot of you, but we do appreciate you. Every single one of you, whether that we individually mentioned you or if we have not, it's take it with a grain of salt because we appreciate every single one of you.
No, absolutely. Because it's just that's also time constraints on the live shows and stuff. So, but absolutely, Theme Park Casual, Barry Plays, Cordy, Theme Park Wizard. There's just so many people that we've met along this. Like, it's funny. I hate to say the friends we've met along the way because that's become like a meme now. But it's kind of true. Like the friends we met along the way, right? So, oh, and by the way, Bad Thoughts. Tone said to send it to Maybe. So
send it to Maybe. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
We'll send it over.
Yeah, we'll send you the Mickey Mouse salt and pepper shakers.
Yeah, see, maybe he's talking to Tones. So, you know, speaks to Korean to me and stabs me in the back.
Original gangsta.
Mariana Barbara says here, hey guys, wish me best of luck on my new Pokemon podcast. That's awesome, Mariana.
Ooh,
well,
nice.
Best of luck to you, and absolutely let us know once you get it up and running. We'll definitely share it out here. You know, that's awesome.
I am a Pokemon buff. That when I grew up, I mean, I was like anticipating the Pokemon first movie. I collected the cards, I collected the little figures, I had the Game Boy, I had it all. So, you know, you talk Pokemon, you're speaking my language.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in today. Oh, this is so funny. Oh, Tones, I take back what I said about you. Poor Tones. I love Tones. And you know what? I completely agree with Maybe here. Tones is the best. We love Tones. We got our Tones Poppy in the house. We love Tones. And we got a super chat from Mr. Seymour Duck. Congrats on the 5K subs. Fun fact, Donald Duck is the original Angry Bird. Oh, that's true. He absolutely is the original Angry Bird. And thank you, Seymour. We do appreciate it. We love you, man. And it's been really fun, you know, these past few months doing shows with you, talking with you in the DMs and just getting to know you and just, you know, your friendship and everything, man. It's been awesome. So we look forward to talking quarterly earnings with you on May 7th. It's going to be a doozy, absolute doozy. So here we go. Oh, we got one more Tones thing. What did Tones say? Now I'm curious. Like, what's Tone say? I'm just catching stays today. So funny, man. So funny. So yeah, thank you everybody. Anyone who's ever watched a video, shared a video, you know, liked a video, you know, has come on the channel. Anybody that's supported us in any way, we really do appreciate you. And it's been an awesome journey. And cheers to the next 5,000. And we've got a lot of content coming out. We'll be back very, very soon. Planning on doing a lot more live shows next week or so. So we love doing these. So yeah, Italiano, if you could let everybody at home know where they can find you on social media, sir.
Absolutely. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you'll find me here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. Absolutely. We're going to end the show like we always do with the lovely and beautiful Youngjin from La Seraphim. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of OG55. And until the next time. 세상이 누구에게나 공평하게 추악해.